Star Wars. You and your children loved it. Now the Earthlings at Kenner have asked my associate and me to present the Star Wars collection. Truly remarkable toys and games for your children. What are you so excited about now? My goodness, the Star Wars TIE Fighter and X-Wing Fighter.
Well, here we are, the next step in the process. I've cleaned all these parts. Obviously, as you can see, I've totally disassembled it. Some of the stickers came off, which I'm not too concerned about because they weren't in the greatest condition anyway. I was trying my best to preserve these ones in the back here because they were in the best condition, but I accidentally, while it was wet, I was rubbing, and you can see I removed a small section of this one here. So what I'll probably end up doing is just getting a full set of decals, replacing them. So anyway, I got about 98% of all the battery corrosion and stuff off of this. It was really hard to get some of it out. It's more rust than anything, I think, from the battery leaking, because I can scrape a lot of it off with my fingernail. As you can see, here's a couple of the stickers. They got, I couldn't get them off without destroying them, so I was trying to be careful, and you know, while I was washing, and whatever ones started getting wrinkly, and I just peeled them off because it's not like they were pristine anyway. But anyway, everything else is all nice and clean, and I think what I'm going to do is start reassembling it, since there's no reason not to, and then I will hunt down online a sticker printout, and then we'll replace the stickers, and then the next step will be to locate the remaining missing pieces. Okay, don't know why I'm filming this, but I'm going to try to drill out this broken screw. I'm not so sure this is going to work. Well, I've attempted to drill this out. I had limited success. I could not get the old screw out of there. It's also started to crack a little bit. I actually think that may be my best bet if I want to use this as an anchor point to reattach the two halves of the ship together. Now, I probably could just leave the screw out and it would most likely be just fine, but I would like to have something in there. Now, luckily this is hidden, so whatever I do to this will not show once the ship is glued back together. So I think what I'm actually going to do, sounds blasphemous, but I think I'm going to break this where it's cracked across the middle, snap part of it off, dig out the remainder of that rusted in screw, and then epoxy this back together. And it'll be ugly, but it'll be good enough to put a new screw in and function the way it's supposed to. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, well, it wasn't pretty, but there's the remainder of that little bugger. And this is what we ended up with. Basically, looks like it exploded. So I'm going to get some epoxy out. I'm going to fabricate that back up real nice, and it should accept a self-tapping screw, and we'll be on our way. Okay, so I think this is going to work. Show you what I've done so far. If you can get a look at this. I got the screw out, and I epoxied this all back together. I put some Scotch tape around it to keep the clothespin from gluing to the pig. And then I put the clothespin to put that back into a circular shape. And then when that's dry, I'm going to take that off, and I don't know if the tape will come off or not. It really doesn't matter, I guess, but it should. And then I think I will reinforce it a little bit more with some epoxy around to beef up the cracked part of that peg. And I think we'll be good to go. Self-tapping screw in there, and she'll be flying again. So anyway, that's the top part. So that's basically like the last part that has to go on for the most part. So I thought while we're waiting for that to dry, we can start putting some of the bottom back together. So let's see, what should we start with? How about, I guess we could put the motor back in. So that's pretty simple. It's all nice and clean, ready to go. I'm gonna just bend these tabs out just a hair. Oh, so the first thing we got to do is put this little thing in here that makes the noise. Now it was kind of like bent down from years of that pushing against it, so I thought couldn't hurt to flip it over, and maybe it'll make a little bit better noise. I don't know. It doesn't. It shouldn't hurt it, but maybe it'll change the pitch of the noise or something. So let's see, we need to find a screw for that. And where'd my screwdriver go? Now there's no need to reef on these. It's not like you're putting a cylinder head on a car, so you just, till it's at its limit, and then just give it a little. That should be good to go. Now we take the motor. That slides on here like this into this little channel, and the two little terminals go up here where the batteries touch. Just want to double check and make sure that those are in the right position. Yep, that looks good there. And that looks good there. Okay. So, let's see, we need the little bracket that holds that on. So we put that down here. And two screws for that. Now these are all short screws inside. The long screws hold the body together. So I'll use these dirty ones since they were the ones that got hit with the leaky battery. Now, I don't know if you know, but a lot of times, since these are self-tapping, you'd be cutting new threads. But a trick is if you turn them backwards, you can almost usually feel the first thread fall into place, and then you can go right back into where it was without causing any further stress to the plastic by cutting a whole new thread. It works on most screws, even on other materials, it's metal and everything. It's just a little trick that I learned from experience. So tight and just snug. There we go, good on that. Okay, we have to put the front landing gear back in. Alright, so this is what holds the front landing gear in. It does have a little bit of wear. I think that's why it's just a hair sloppy, but there's really nothing you can do about that. It's the way that these detents kind of wear after a little while. So anyway, that goes up under here. get it in here. Oh, wait a minute. Stupid me. It goes in this way. I took it out. I should remember. There we go. And grab the 2 short screws for that. Bracket. As far as I can tell, doesn't matter which way this goes. It looks identical on both sides, so it shouldn't matter. Just get it seated. Screws there. You don't want to tighten one side before you start tightening the other side. Do them evenly. And you'll feel them bottom out. And then just give them just a little extra. Keep them from backing out. Not too much. And there we go. That's back in place. We're going to have to do some stickers, so I'm going to have to look that up. That'll be another video. That goes in there. Let's see what's next. I guess we can put these in. One thing I noticed about these when I took them out, I didn't know if they were left and right or anything like that. They are exactly identical parts. So it doesn't matter which side you put them on. And they'll only fit one way. You can't put it this way because the pegs won't line up right. Okay, so we've got those 4 pieces in. And what else can we do while we're waiting for that to dry? I guess we can put the battery cover on. And I guess the cardboard insert. So as you saw, this has a stain on it, but once you get it in here, it's hidden way back here in the corner. So once the lid and everything's on, it's almost invisible. I'm not overly concerned about that. And it doesn't like fit tight or anything like that. It just basically just sits in there. It's not like it's being pinched. So the top will hold it from moving. So I think we've gone about as far as we can go until we finish that peg. And then I'm going to have to find a screw that'll fit in there. Okay, we're back. Now, as you can see, I cut the end off a screw here, which is pretty damn close to the originals. So I took a Dremel and I made it the same size. It's got a few more threads per inch, but it's the same type of thread as the originals here, and it's the same diameter pretty much. So basically, here's the, wait, where'd it go? Oh. Here's the finished repaired end here. I mean, it's not pretty, but you won't see it at all. I already test fitted it with the two halves together, and it works perfectly fine. And it will accept an original screw. I haven't tried the new screw in it yet. I'm going to try that first, and I'll use that one if possible. If not, I'll use the original one, since it's a little bit more, what would you say, delicate than one that hasn't been glued. So anyway, so that's where we're at this point. Everything's cleaned, the broken screws repaired, so we are just going to now assemble everything that we can assemble, except for the missing pieces and the missing stickers. Okay, I realized as I was editing part 2 that I never finished the wrap-up of part 2. So here's the ship all together. As you can see, it's still missing the pieces. I actually have almost all the pieces to complete the ship now, but I'm not going to show them to you until the final assembly and reveal. So for now, just assume that it's the same ship that you've been looking at, that I've been working on. As you can see, that section is way back in here. You can't even barely see it at all. You'd have to really be looking for it, that battery acid damage section. So everything's clean as I can get it. I am going to remove the remaining stickers, possibly these, depending on what the reproductions look like. I haven't decided on that yet. But as far as all the little stickers, you know, for like the cockpit and all that junk, they will be, they're pretty much all worn, so they're going to be removed. And that will be the next video, because I am only missing 2 more parts to complete the entire ship. So I'm going to do the stickers as a video, and then when I get the remaining 2 parts, which I'm hoping won't be too long, since I managed to pick up the rest in a fairly quick fashion. Just a matter of getting them for a good price, and so far I've been able to pick up everything for a halfway decent price. I'm not going to overpay for stuff. So anyway, so let's wrap up this video now, and part 3 will be replacing the stickers. So I may wrap up the whole series in 3 parts, depending on how long it takes me to get the remaining couple of parts that I'm needing to complete this. So you're either going to see part 3 stickers and part 4 completion with all the missing pieces, or you might just see a part 3 with stickers and completed Millennium Falcon. So that remains to be seen. But thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Tell a friend. Subscribe if you haven't already. More great videos in the pipeline. We'll see you soon.
Toys and games in Kenner's Star Wars collection are sold separately. Batteries are not included. May the Force be with you and your children.